Remember this computer? Well, actually, it's very unlikely that you do, because as weird as it seems to say it, I never actually showed it to you. Those who have seen my gaming PC build videos from 2015 may have known that I've never uploaded a part 3. So what happened? Well, in case it wasn't obvious by now, I've been uploading videos very infrequently. In fact, it took me 6 months just to sit down and edit part 2. And because of my negligence and procrastination, I lost the video files. Not all of them though, so here's a sneak peek of what you have missed.
Alright, it's been a day and I have put everything in place. I've connected most of the cables. However, I'm gonna do the rest later. Alright, so now let's put the hard drive inside. So there are two bays here and here. I'm gonna put on the upper slot, because why not? Alright, so now here's the SSD. I'm gonna put it inside. It's very simple to install it. Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's gonna be sideways, so we won't be able to see the Samsung logo, but who cares about that? I have 4 screws. So first things first, we're gonna remove the 2 PCI brackets, because I'm not sure I did show you the graphics card. It does have 2. It does takes 2 slots. Like this, I think. And yeah. Alright. And there we go. Now it's secured in place. All we have to do is screw the 2 little thingies here. Alright, so all the wires have been connected here. Everything is ready. So now what we're gonna do is just test this. I already have connected a keyboard here, as you can see. There's a mouse over there in case anything. So basically what I'm gonna do now is close the lid here, just to see what it looks like right now. Looks pretty sweet. So basically we're gonna power on the power supply first, and then we're gonna look at the monitor. So yeah. Well, those power on. I'm gonna show you my computer where it is. Sorry for the tripod noise. Here's my computer. It sits there nicely with my mess of cables.
Everything went smoothly and I built the PC according to the parts I showed you in part 1. However, as I have learned over the course of the last few years, I've made a few mistakes in my part selection. Since the initial build, 2 changes happened. First, the 120GB SSD was upgraded to a 250 gigs one. And second, the GPU died. And it just died happily. In fact, it was dead on arrival, and after getting an RMA, the second unit was effectively dead on arrival too. By the time this all happened, the warranty had expired, and now the GPU has been retired. So what you see on the screen on the left here is running off the integrated graphics. The GPU is in need of replacement. However, sadly, due to the ridiculous prices on even the lowest end graphics cards at the moment, those plans have been postponed for hopefully not too long. Despite this, there were numerous parts that I found out that I wanted to upgrade. The case you see right here is not only terrible, but it is broken. A foot fell off, so now it rattles. Then the default CPU cooler is just not cutting it, so an aftermarket one has to be put. Finally, I found out the motherboard I'm using is simply not going to cut it for 2 reasons. First, the case I got only has USB 3 ports, and the motherboard doesn't have headers for it. And most importantly, I want to eventually upgrade the RAM, but have no free slots to do so. Therefore, it turns out it is cheaper to upgrade the motherboard than buying completely new memory. Of course, that's not for this video. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling, so let's just get on with it. Alright, so before we start actually building it, let's just take a look at the parts I got. So as you can see, obviously I don't have the GPU or the RAM yet, but that's going to be for a completely different video. Anyway, let's just take a look here. So this is the case. This is the Fractal Design Define Mini C. I've pretty much wanted it since I saw it, basically. And it looks like a really good case. It looks like a massive improvement over the one I have here, and it is apparently what the marketing basically says, that it's a very silent case, which If it's true, then that's actually a good thing because I really like silent computers. That's something I really like. It is a bit larger though, but it is micro ADX obviously. But still, that's basic. Anyway, as for this is the motherboard. This is the ASUS B85ME. Now, why did I choose this board? Well, it's pretty much the only thing that's available. And because my processor is 1150, LGA 1150, but nowadays everyone has gone to LGA 1151. Basically, it means that I'm stuck with whatever's left. And this is pretty much the only thing I could find that has 4 RAM slots, and it is the one that has the B85 chipset, or rather anything other than the H81 chipset, which prevents having 4 RAM slots and USB 3 headers, basically. Nothing's too spectacular. And this is the cooler. This is the Hyper 212 Evo. This is basically the most generic cooler you can find. Pretty much everyone has it at this point, except like in certain special circumstances. But basically, this is just a cooler. But anyway, let's just quickly take a look at the prices. So this is about 100 Canadian dollars. I don't know exactly the price. I got it for around 95, but that was due to a sale or something. I'll check the MSRP later and I'll put it on the screen. The ASUS board, I got it for about 100. You can sometimes get a little cheaper, but I just waited for too damn long and it keeps rising and falling, and I just said screw it and got it. This is pretty much $35 as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, it's not the cheapest parts. Like this, the motherboard is pretty expensive, the case is quite expensive, the cooler is fine, but of course we're buying quality parts, so hopefully it's gonna be a worthwhile investment. Alright, so before I start, just gonna mention that I noticed that the lighting was terrible in the last few scenes, so I fixed that, so I guess you're wondering. Anyway, so as you can see, 2 years is a long time, so my setup is completely different. But it doesn't really matter. We're gonna open this board for now. I already opened it just to see what it looks like, and we're gonna do it again. And there it is. That's the board. Nothing special. It looks better than in the pictures because I felt like the yellow thing would look bad, but apparently it looks fine. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna keep it in the bag for now until we actually start doing something with it. Let's just check all the contents with it here. We got 2 SATA cables, and below we got the I/O shield and the instruction manual, which also comes with a CD. Inside the CD, in case you can't see, is a sticker, so you can stick on your case if you really want that, and some other paperwork, nothing special. So yep, that's it. We're done, I guess. Well, what should we do now? Well, basically what I'm thinking is we should turn off the computer that we have here and start disassembling. We have to remove the CPU, and the first thing I want to make absolutely sure is that this motherboard is compatible with my CPU. It should be, but there's a very slight chance that it runs on an old firmware and it's not compatible. It's very unlikely because this has been updated years ago. But I still want to check, of course, that everything works, the RAM slots work, everything is perfect, and then we're going to continue. We're going to put in the actual cooler once that happens. Alright, well, let's do this, I guess. Alright, so this is the inside of the old computer. It doesn't look really that much different from what you've seen, but of course a few different. So, as you can see, there's the SSD that I have. You can't see the capacity anyway, so there's no point in me showing you. But some of the stuff has changed, but then again, I don't know, I think I ever showed it. Whatever. So anyway, as you can see, there's no GPU in here. I've removed it. I also didn't put back the cover, but whatever. I forgot to mention that I had a new wireless card. I actually had 2 new wireless cards, and I haven't showed either of them, now that I think about it. Anyway, and last thing, I also bought specifically this. What is this? This is a riser card for to get 4 more USB ports, and it connects using a standard USB 2 header. And since there's 2 of them in the motherboard that I'm going to use, there's also going to be 2 headers, but I'm going to only use the USB 3 header. Anyway, that's what I forgot to show you, and as you can see, everything else is fine. The RAM is there, and power supply, good power supply. Also, I put the hard drive in here, but then again, whatever. Alright, so what we're gonna do now, I guess we're going to have to remove the motherboard. So, let's do this. I'm going to use this screwdriver, but of course before that we should probably unplug everything. I'm gonna unplug the PSU. Alright, we got that out. Let's do the CPU connector as well. That's a little easier. The SATA connectors, we're gonna remove them. Then all the headers. So this essentially is the USB header for the case. This is the USB header for that riser card I showed you. And this is all the other stuff. And this is the audio, but you can't see it, I think. No, you can't. So next we have to remove the 2 cards here. We're going to have to remove them eventually anyway, so might as well do them now. Right, this is the first card. It's as you can see, it doesn't have a PCI connector. It's just a riser card. That's it. So let's get rid of that. And this is actually I need to plug the antennas. There we go. This is the wireless card I'm using. Nothing that spectacular either. Alright, so what do we do now? Now we have to unscrew the actual board. Everything has been disconnected. Let's move the wires away. We have to disconnect. We have to unscrew the board. Alright, I think the screws went somewhere, and once we're done with that, let's just pull the board. I think we can do that, can we? Now let's just make sure that we can. There we go. This is the board, this is the motherboard. It's absolutely tiny in comparison. Right, let's put that to the side for now. Should probably put it on an anti-static surface, but I don't have one at the moment. Alright, so that's done. What do we do now? Well, let's find out. Now, just a quick comparison. That's the old motherboard, the H81M P33, if I remember correctly, and I think I do. The comparison to the newer ones. As you can see, this one is much larger, even though both of these are micro ADX technically. I mean, this could almost be a mini IDX board. Let's be honest here. If they just cut this part, it'd just be an IDX board. So whatever. What we have to do now is we have to remove the CPU cooler. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the CPU I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to try it without the cooler, and just turn it on just to make sure that the BIOS is updated. If it is, I'm going to immediately turn it off and put the cooler on. That's what I think I'm going to do. Alright, let's get started. So how do I even remove this? I don't remember. I put it on many years ago. I haven't built a PC since, but I'm maybe going to build a new one. I'm not too sure yet. Not for me though. I guess we're supposed to pull it or something. I don't know. You know what I think I should do? I should probably read the instructions. Alright, I think I know what to do. I read the instruction manual, and it's a good thing I actually did because I got the box out, so we're going to put the old cooler back in the box. Alright, so what are we supposed to do? So first we're going to get rid of that. We're supposed to turn it 90 degrees. That's what I get from it using a flat tip screwdriver. Like this. Oh yeah, right, I'm doing this correctly, I think. And hopefully you can see fine. Is it still locked? No, I think we're not doing something right. Let's just check again. Alright, we are doing something right. We just have to pull it off, and there we go. This is the cooler. And it's dusty. It's dusty. Oh boy, it's dusty. And this is the thermal paste, and oh my god, what the hell is that? I wasn't. That is some terrible dust. Oh god, that is horrible. Well, what are we gonna do? We obviously have to clean the CPU first, and once we do that, we're going to put in a new one. So, first things first, we have to pull this out, and oh god, that is some terrible dust. I can't believe it. I should not be touching the pins. That was my mistake. Okay, so hold on. Let's not rush things, all right? First, we're gonna clean it from here, all right? So I'm going to temporarily put it in here, back in the slot here, and we're going to rub some alcohol in it just to clean it. All right. All right. So let's just clean this. I have my thing here. Let's just clean this. It shouldn't be difficult, but really need to clean this out. Cannot believe it was this dusty. Like, I knew the case was bad. I knew the fan were bad, but we're hopefully not going to do the same mistake again with this new case and the new cooler. Hopefully. No idea what even caused this. But, oh god, you can see how dirty it is. But whatever, we'll clean this again. And the dust too, hopefully. And... Alright, so I cleaned the CPU. I decided not to clean the backside. It wasn't that dirty, and I decided not to risk it. So, yeah, that's fine for now. As for the motherboard, we'll deal with that some other time. Let's focus on this for now. Alright? I know how to install a CPU, that's not the difficult part. And first we're gonna do, I already discharged myself, hopefully. So there we go. Okay. This is the motherboard. And we're going to install the CPU in here. So, also the lighting just changed again because there's light from the window, but whatever. First we have to do this, and we're not supposed to remove the cover. Apparently, that's what it says here. And from what of the videos I've seen, apparently that's the case. So as you can see, the pinout is the same, I think. So all we're gonna do is drop it. I'm supposed to do it. Now we can remove it, I think. Alright, so then all we do is this. There we go. And that's the CPU. It's installed. Alright, so thankfully the CPU is free from this clog of dust, and it's going to get a new life with a good cooler this time. Alright, so now that it's installed, pretty much I already want to test it. Like, of course, it's a bad thing to try to run the CPU without its cooler, but we're really going to literally just, if there's something on the screen, we're immediately turning it off. That's what we're gonna do, nothing else. And we're gonna do all the advanced testing later because it's not likely that something's broken. At least, well, I mean, who knows really? But basically, I'm saying if for whatever reason it's not updated, I'm going to try and figure out if there's any way to update it, or otherwise I have no choice but I have to RMA it. Or, I don't know, like ask someone with another CPU, I don't know. Let's stop rambling, just try it first. Alright, so I got the power supply out. It wasn't really easy, but I did get it out. Unfortunately, it's pretty dusted up too. I'm not going to open it for safety reasons, but hopefully it's not going to affect it too much. Well, anyway, what we're going to do now is plug in the proper cable. So just temporarily, just to see if it works, as I said. So yeah, this is the 24 pin. It goes in the other way. You can't see because my arm is blocking. And there we go. Okay. As for the CPU cable, again, this is a 4-pin, not an 8-pin. Yep, you can see. So, I believe it's this cable that we need to plug in. There's only one that's gonna fit anyway. So, there you go. It's around like this. Nothing too special. And we're gonna plug in a fan, and we're gonna plug in the display. I'm not sure if the cable's long enough. We're gonna figure out. Probably gonna do that off screen just to do it calmly, alright? Oh yeah, right, and I forgot one important thing. Obviously, we need the RAM. Now, you need to plug it in one of the paired slots. I'm not sure which one it is, so I'm going to read the manual. We're going to figure that out. Again, off screen, it's too much. Alright, so I read the manual. It's not said very specifically what I need to do, but apparently these three are channel A and these two are channel B, so I'm going to assume that you can do either this and this or this and this. So let's do that. I'm going to actually record the RAM setup just because it's a bit unusual as far as I'm aware. So what we do is we put one here. First I do this, I think. I don't remember because I never did it like this. And there we go. That's the first DIMM. Second DIMM, we're doing the exact same thing. We slide it in like this. And there we go. Both of them are installed. Perfect. Now what? Alright, I think everything's set up. So let's just recap. The DVI cable is going to be here. I'm going to show the monitor in a second. 24-pin connector, 4-pin connector. The fan is connected to this, the old heatsink. It's not connected, but yeah, we're going to turn it off immediately after. Of course, the two RAM slots are well inserted, I think. And I pull out of the old case the power button. Now, the power supply is also connected. So what we're gonna do, and we're powering on. Okay, so that's the PSU. Let's power this on, alright? See the button? It powers on. Okay, there's something on the screen, I think. I don't see anything. There's definitely something, and definitely sees the CPU. Okay, we're powering. Alright, so it's not working well, but I think that's just the cable or something. But since we can clearly see that it detects the CPU, that means it's fine. I immediately shutting it down. And the CPU is not burning hot. That's good. Alright, so it detects the CPU. Alright, so what do we do now? I guess we're going to put in the cooler. Alright, so a little break later and a little bit of charging the camera later. Let's open up the CPU cooler. Now, as I said, this is the Hyper 212 Evo. Now, I already opened the box, I already cut the seal just to see what is inside. And some stuff got moved around so the box doesn't close properly. But that's not really supposed to happen. So for now, all we're gonna do, I already know how the box is. This is all the accessories, and this is the cooler. Now, the first time I saw this, I thought that this was huge. This is gigantic. I honestly was shocked because I didn't expect it to be that big. However, if I'm just looking at this, I can clearly see that it should not hurt the RAM. However, I think the fan has to be on this side. There's no way we can fit the fan here. So, on that regard, I think it's fine. But, yeah, I think we should probably try and set it up somehow. I'm going to read the instructions first and let's see what we're gonna do. Alright, so I read the instructions. They're in this little nice pamphlet thingy. There's barely any text, so that's a little inconvenient, I guess. But if it's for people who don't speak the language, I guess it's useful. Anyway, the first step, apparently, we need to remove the fan. We can attach it to either side later on. So, here's the cooler. There you go. And you're supposed to, right, you're supposed to just pull it, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, only this side. There we go. And that's the fan. And from there we can install it like this. Of course, that's we haven't done most of the steps yet, so we'll put in this for now here. But we have to, in theory, we have to put the thermal paste first. But I'm gonna do this like right before putting this, just to be safe. And then we have to open this box here, which I opened already just to see the manual. This is about all the contents. We apparently need this thing. We need to get it ready. So, alright, so a lot has happened. It's been quite a few hours. Now it's dark outside, so the lighting changes again. But anyway, as you can see here, I put on the bracket here. I'm gonna flip the board around just to show you what we're going to do now. And as you can see, I put the stands here. And this is the cooler. Hold on, here you go. I already put this bracket thingy here. So what I think we should do is going to try and put it in. I'm going to try and record it. I hope it's going to be fine. I'm also going to put in the thermal paste. And yeah, let's see how it goes then. So first things first, I'm just gonna make double sure that everything is ready, because I don't want to reapply any thermal paste later. Alright? Okay then. So let's do this. Alright? So the way we apply the thermal paste, I know it's a bit controversial as to how much and etc. So we're gonna try and put in like what most people recommend, which is like pea size or something of the sort. Okay, I think that's fine, isn't it? Alright. Okay, that's a little too much, but a little too much is better than not enough. That's as far as I'm aware. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a lot. Whatever. No big deal. Let's calmly put the heatsink on. Without rushing, obviously. Oh, of course, I forgot. We have to remove this thing. So what we do is you peel it off like this. It's out of focus, I'm sorry, but it's not for long. Okay. Alright. Okay, and alright. Now what I need to do is oh fuck, okay. Alright. So that's oh, you couldn't see anything, I guess. Alright, I hope that was alright. Let's zoom out a little bit. Alright, that's fine. And let's screw it in. We're supposed to do it, we're supposed to screw it in diagonally. So we do this one and then this one. Right? So we're gonna do that, but first we gotta make sure that all four of them are aligned properly. Okay. And the last one. And there we go. Okay, so all four of these are aligned. Now all we gotta do is screw in each in the appropriate order, which is this to this, this, or something like that. Okay, let's do this. Okay. it is very stable. It's certainly not going to move, I think. So yep, we're done, I think, with the heatsink. Now I'm going to apply the fan, but before that I'm going to pause the camera for a second, just going to screw it in, just make sure everything is perfectly fine, and then we're gonna do it, alright? Alright then, I think we're done. I made sure it seems very solid, it doesn't move around or anything. We're gonna play with it too much either, just to be safe. And I've checked, everything is tightened, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, the fan. So we removed it according to the instructions, and per the instructions, I'm gonna read them again just to be extra sure, but yeah, at the end you put the fan. Alright, so what we do is, now just, I'm going to clarify something. I do not understand well the fans and directions, stuff like that, but from what I've quickly read, I think the best way would be like this, because this is the back of the computer and it goes front, back, or something. I don't know if anyone would clarify in the comments. I would really appreciate that, but of course, if you don't know, it's totally fine. Oh yeah, alright, we can put it in any way, can we? But I'm gonna put it like this so that the cable is down. Alright? Alright, I think I got it. Just need to snap it back in place. And yep, it's back in place. Alright, so this is the fan. As you can see, the heatsink is gigantic. Like, the heatsink itself, not that huge, but with the fan, it's like gigantic. I honestly was surprised when I first opened the box and saw that. I didn't expect it. But whatever. Maybe that's a good thing because it means cooler computer, quieter maybe? Who knows? But now all we gotta do is plug in. I'm gonna flip it around just so you can see a little better. And we're going to plug it in here. I'm kind of doing this blindly, which is not a really good idea. But there we go. It's plugged in, and in theory, everything should be fine. Alright, so what do we do now? We've installed the heatsink. The fan is okay, I think. I don't even know. We first have to test it, obviously, but which is exactly what we're gonna do. But before that, I want to do a really quick test of the other two RAM slots. I checked the video that I recorded before, and I saw that on the screen it did say 8 gigs of RAM, so we confirmed that that works. But I'm going to be extra safe and just try the other slots. You can't see well, can you? And just to be sure it doesn't cost anything, I'm probably going to put it back in there just because I'm already used to that. And we slide it in. And alright, I hope that was fine. Alright. Okay. We've tested that so far. Let's see what we're gonna do. I think we're going to plug everything back in like we did with the PSU, and we're gonna try connect the DVI cable better because I'm kind of concerned about what that purple thing on the screen was. So we're going to see if that was just a problem or not really. And we're probably going to try and set up the BIOS or the UEFI as it is nowadays, and yeah, hopefully see how the temperatures are. Whatever, let's just try it. Alright, everything's plugged in, I think, and I hope I didn't forget anything stupid. And yep, we're gonna try it. I've made sure the DVI is connected well this time, so hopefully that's not an issue. And I also plugged in a keyboard and my USB receiver because my USB mouse receiver because I'm pretty sure that the UEFI is going to support the mouse. So power in the power supply. I have, oh, also I didn't notice there's a light in here. And all we gotta do is push this little button. Power's on. Here's my display. Wow, that is damn quiet, honestly. Delete, let's press delete here. The current, oh, you can't read anything, but yeah, let me just zoom in, focus, and let it adjust everything. Alright, it says the current BIOS setting does not fully support the boot device. Click OK to enter the BIOS setup. The mouse doesn't work because it's turned off, but it does work now, alright? And the keyboard clearly worked. Alright, let's just see here. Temperature 22 degrees, so, oh, you can see it. So I think that's perfectly fine, actually. Voltage, I don't know what's good, what's not. By the way, we can clearly see that the 2 RAM slots are perfectly fine. XMP, I don't know what that is. No, let's not try anything stupid. Alright, so, by the way, we can... Oh, what? Did it freeze or something? I think the mouse froze. That's odd. Yep, I think the system is frozen. That's very odd. But... whatever. Let's try again. Yeah, the fan is very, very, very quiet. Just to be sure. Alright, whatever. Let's just zoom out. And you can hopefully see something. Alright. Advanced mode. I don't know what that is. Alright, so now we get more options. Alright. I don't really know. I think we should. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to configure this off camera. It's too complicated, I guess. But I think immediately what we should do is update the BIOS, the UEFI rather, whatever it is, to. Alright, this is the BIOS updating, and it's from 2015. So actually, that's kind of old. Or we shouldn't really worry about that, since the CPU I'm using is something of 2014, I think. That was when the Hazel refresh thing happened. Right away, I'm going to mention that the BIOS, or again, the UEFI, is much more advanced than in the MSI board. So that's kind of positive. Let's save changes and reset. Alright, let's do that. It's gonna reboot, I think. This is the boot screen, by the way. Okay, it says that just because I assume there's nothing to boot onto, alright? Okay, so I've wasted a lot of time recording and wasting space on my SD card. So what we're going to do, say the information, by the way. We can change the date too. Okay, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I think what we're going to do now is what are we gonna do now? We can clearly see that it works. What resolution, by the way? It's 1080p. It actually recognizes 1080p. Whatever. We're wasting time here. What are we gonna do? We're gonna turn this off, and we're going to unplug everything, and we're going to and before that we're going to set the RAM back to where I want it to be, and then we're going to put it in the case. Well, rather first we're going to open the case, look at it, whatever. Let's just end this quickly. Exit, save changes. I haven't made any changes except the time. So press the power button again, and there we go, it's off. Alright, so everything seems to be positive. It works, which is good. So yeah, let's move on now and see what we're gonna do now. Alright, so I don't think there's any space on that desk to have this giant box, and trying to open it. So we're gonna just do it on the floor here. So yep, let's open this box. But before that, let's actually take a look around it. At least I'm gonna try. Well, at least what can I say? This is the case. By the way, this is the one without the mirror. I specifically wanted this one because I don't really want anyone looking inside. It's not going to be like eye candy inside of the computer. There's no point. And this is all the contents, I assume, or the features. I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're gonna open it. I have I always have a best tool for opening boxes, a Swiss knife. So let's do this. I'm gonna open it from here. Well, now cutting in the actual box, and we're in. All right, this is the case. Right, it's in the styrofoam so that it doesn't break in transit. All right. We're gonna just have it drop down. Alright, so sorry about that. I had no choice but to not record it. It was way too difficult to get it out of the box, and this thing fell off already. So let's be careful here. This is the top, so let's do it like this. And it's a pretty big case. Really big. It's not just a little bigger than the other one, it's actually pretty significantly bigger. Alright, it looks really good though. That much I can definitely say. Pull it out. And here's the case. Ooh, beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. I love this case already, but it definitely is big. Not much I can say. I really like the switch. Can you see it? Yeah. I'm sure if you can hear it though, but I really like the power switch. And the reset switch too, but whatever. Speaking of ports, in case you can't, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's two USB 3 ports, headphone and microphone jack, and reset switch, whatever. Also, there's some stuff inside. Normally this, an instruction guide. Alright, nothing spectacular, but I think what we should do is open it, which should be done pretty easily, because in most cases, and here's, oh god, this is heavy. This door is much heavier than I thought, and I guess they weren't kidding when they said that this was a silent case, because look at all this foam padding thing. Wow, I can't wait to just see, or I guess hear how quiet it is. And hopefully it doesn't disappoint, because I paid good money for it. Alright, let's take a look inside it. I'm gonna lower the camera just so you can see better. Alright, so this is the inside of the case. It's not, the angle isn't that good. But anyway, this is the inside. If you can see, there's the 5 brackets for the PCI. And there's 2 white fans. This one over here you can't really see, but this one you can see sort of well. I think what we should do is open the other side, because that's where all the fun stuff is actually going to be, because here it's pretty barren. So also this is removable, right? Yeah, you can see lots of foam and padding too. So we're gonna keep it on that, making sure that the system is indeed very quiet. I hope it is as quiet as it is advertised. So let's open this part too. Okay. Whoa, okay. Yeah, forget how heavy the door is. It's unbelievable. Alright, let's put that to the side as well. And this is the inside. We have, this is a filter. I think this is the filter for this, isn't it? Pretty sure that's true. Okay, whatever. But that's assuming if you have a fan on the top, which I don't have. Let's take a look at what else is there. All the cables are neatly tied up in here. USB 3 cable here, as well as other stuff. As for this is the SSD bracket. We're going to remove it. This is the accessories. Smells brand new, definitely. And if you can see, we have two hard drive brackets. We have an SSD and a hard drive, so both of them are going to go here. I'm going to remove this just to reduce weight, I guess. But if for whatever reason I need another 3.5-inch hard drive or another SSD for that matter, we're gonna put it back on. Here's the power supply. It goes around here. You can't see from the other side, which is pretty cool design. Alright, so I've read the instruction manual and I decided that based on what they suggest is we should install the power supply first, which seems like a decent idea. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you actually how you do it. So, alright, so this is the power supply. As you can see, this is CX600M, which is the one I had since then, since the day I built it. And it appears to work fine, so we're gonna keep it until it breaks, but honestly, it seems promising that it's not gonna do that anytime soon. So, first what we're gonna do is unscrew these two screws, not fully, just partially. Again, like this. And basically we install the we have 4 screws. 4? I don't know. Looks like 3 to me, but I think there's 4. So what we do is, on this side, we simply screwed in somehow like this. Right, it's very difficult for me to show you, but something along the lines of this. Alright, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I had have put the towel on here just so that the case doesn't get scratched. Normally you're not supposed to put electronics on that kind of stuff, but we're working inside the case, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. Alright, so what I think we're supposed to do is if we do it like this, yeah, that's the correct way, I think. And we have exactly 4 screws. Now, in the accessory box, they have a few of these pouches with specific accessories. So in this one, we have the 4 power supply screws as well as zip ties. So this is a really good design in my opinion. Just the packaging and that stuff really shows the quality of this product. So we're going to, here they are. We're gonna just screw them in as usual. Nothing too special. Basically, let's try doing this on camera. Alright, that's done. So now that we screwed this little bracket thingy here, we can put it back into the case. I just need to figure out which way, and yeah, let's try it. Alright, so basically I think what we do now is I already inserted the cables here just so that it goes through, and we put in. I assume that the fan must be down, since that's where the dust filter is, which seems to make sense. So what we're going to do now is make sure that nothing is blocking the path. And, yep, I think. And there we go. Now, of course, this means that if I just show you here quickly, you can see that the connector is upside down, I think. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway. I'm just used to it being over here, so whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I think this is the correct way. I'm going to check the manual just to be sure. Well, whatever. I checked. There's nothing of the sort in it, so I assume that since the dust filter is on the bottom, it pretty much guarantees that I'm supposed to put it that way. So I'm going to put in these zip ties for now back in this little bag. And what do we do now? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we should put the hard drive in first. That way we can clear out this side entirely. So, yep. Let's remove the hard drive from the old one, which I'm going to do off camera because it's not really fun doing that. Alright? Alright, so I got the hard drive and the SSD out. By the way, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you that this is indeed a 250 gigs drive. Here you go. You can see somewhat well. Alright. and we're going to put them both into this. Now, technically these are two slots for 3.5-inch drives. However, if I don't put, I can also put a 2.5-inch. However, of course, as I said, I have to have this this bracket thingy, which I'd rather not have if possible. So for now, we're going to first remove this. This should be pretty easy to do. And there we go. That's already removed. It's not that heavy, so yeah, it shouldn't cause too much problems if we want it back. So first we do we pull this out, and this is the bracket, and I assume we have to put in it this way, since after all the SATA port is on here and there's no way to have the cable go through there. So I guess we need screws now, don't we? Alright, so I've read the instructions. It seems to be pretty simple. We actually screw it from the bottom, not from the sides as I thought you had. And we have 8 of these screws. We're going to use 4 for each drive. So then, yeah, let's actually try to find the holes first. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so let's remove, let's take 4 of the screws here, and I'm gonna take the other 4 a little later. For now, let's keep them in the bag. So we have 4 of these. You can't really see them. Now you can. Alright, that's screwed in. So now, let's put it back into bay. And we put it in the other way, like this. Yep, I think it's slotted in correctly. All right, you can see the drive here. Everything's fine. We're gonna connect the cables later. For now, we're gonna take the other one and deal with the SSD. SSD, it should work on both drives either way. So what we're gonna do is, all right. So I think we're supposed to put it something like here. Again, 4 screws. Alright, so apparently I made a little mistake, and as it turns out, you're not supposed to use the 3.5-inch screws for the 2.5-inch drive on here. You have to use the 2.5-inch drive screws, which are the same as if I wanted to installing on that bracket here. And they include 20 of these, so if you want to install 5, that's exactly enough you get. So I think I fixed my mistake, so that's fine. And now we can just slot it in. It doesn't look as pretty as the 3.5-inch drive, but it doesn't really matter. And there we go, clicked into place. You can't even see it, but I think it's fine. All right, so what do we do now? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Alright, so I think we're going to install the motherboard now. It's pretty much we're pretty much going to follow the guide at this point. Should be careful here. Alright, so first we have to install the I/O shield. Haven't opened it yet, so let's do that right away. Here's the I/O shield, nothing too special. I just need to figure out the direction. As you can see, the text is here, which means I know the direction is gonna go in. Also, it's pretty good quality. It has this padding thing here. So whatever. Let's put it in here. Alright, I'm already tired, but as you can see, I installed the I/O shield. It took me a while to figure this out, but I don't know if I did it properly or not. Now what we're supposed to do is install the standoffs for the motherboard. So yeah, basically what we're supposed to do is take one of these little things, which basically allows to screw these standoffs in. So yeah, let's try. This one, I need to check the motherboard screws with the one we need. So let's do it. Alright, I have the motherboard right here. You can't see, it's off screen, but
yep, let's continue on now. Where is that little thingy we used? Alright, so we need one here. Alright, so I installed all the standoffs here. I also removed one that was already pre-installed and exchanged it for like a real one. I don't know why was it already installed, but whatever. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but who cares at this point. So we're gonna put in the new motherboard now. So there it is. This is the motherboard. We're gonna make sure there's enough room. Make sure that it's aligned properly. Alright, so now as you can see, it's not taking a lot of room, because after all it's still not the largest micro ATX board you could find, since we only used a few of the standoffs and screws out of the many that we can. So yeah, let's screw in it. Probably gonna do this off camera because I'm getting pretty tired now. So yeah. Alright, so this is everything installed. The motherboard is installed. The cooler is mostly stable, I think. I'm not sure. But what we're gonna do now is just the cabling in general. Alright then, so as it seems, I've pretty much connected everything off camera. It's too difficult to do it while recording. But I did connect everything, the SATA cables. I did route everything too, so look at how nice everything looks. Well, you can't really see that well at the moment. But what we're going to do for now, we're going to install the network card and the USB 2 riser card, alright? So let's start off by unscrewing. Now, well, I'm going to mention that I'm going to install it, the network card into this one. And the reason is that if I install it here, there's not going to be space for the graphics card, since it's going to take 2 slots. So I'm going to install it here. So we're going to unscrew this one. Yeah, I'm going to bring the cards now and let's do something. Alright, so network card. Let's install it. I'm just going to adjust the camera a bit again. There we go. All we're doing is inserting it here. Make sure everything lines up, and there we go. That's it. Now all we gotta do is screw it in. All we have to do is, this is the riser card, by the way. I've shown it already. All we're gonna do is insert it. There's no PCI slot, so we'll have to just insert it. Hope that it fits fine. It does fit fine. And I'm going to attach to connect to the 2 front panel USB cables. Alright, so that's done. And I'm going to take this opportunity to show you just what the inside of this looks like. As you can see, everything has been connected. The SATA cable, you can't actually see them, but these are the 2 SATA cables. On the other side, it's a bit of a mess, but it's going to be hidden completely, so yeah, that's fine. And let's connect these to the 2 USB ports. I think we're pretty much done now, so I'm just going to close everything, and yeah, I guess we'll try it out. Alright, so this is the back. Now we're going to just put the cover back on here. Hopefully everything just fits nicely, and I think it does. It's still screwed in, so everything's done. Now all we gotta do, obviously, one last thing before we can test this computer is, of course, the other side. So again, I'm gonna bring the other cover and we're going to close it. Oh, also one thing I'm going to mention real quick, that I noticed that this cooler it was rotatable. I mean, as in not a good thing, because I am concerned that maybe like the thermal paste might break. So maybe I did something wrong. Maybe that's kind of how it's designed. Who knows? Well, I'll be careful. If there's something wrong, I'll just readjust it eventually. But at the moment, we'll leave it like that. And there we go. So this computer is essentially assembled, and we can plug it in, try it out,
And let's see how it goes, alright? Well then, it appears that we're finally finished. This is the computer itself, and it's on the box, but as you can see, now it's very stable. Really solid build. Definitely a good case from what I can see. And it was really easy to build it in. Actually, now I think about it, probably easier than the other case. But of course, it's probably well designed. Well, it's definitely well designed. The question is, does it work? So now I'm going to plug everything in, and hopefully everything will work just fine. You can't see anything, but I plugged it into the new riser card just to see whether that will work. It should. Let's see why not. Now what I should do, I should just point it like that. So then, display's on, and we're going to press the switch. Here it is. And alright, now let's not count down. Alright. Now then, let's take a look at the monitor. Alright. And it boots straight into Windows. Beautiful. The question is, does it actually work? Oh yeah, it's immediately starting the getting devices ready thing. So, alright, hopefully that's fine. But it's clearly immediately downloading or installing all the drivers. So that's pretty good. Guess Windows isn't as shit as it used to be. Well, it still is, but now it's rebooting. We'll deal with the BIOS again, the UEFI later. Right now I'm just gonna see if everything works. From there, it should. Alright. By the way, this is a fairly clean install. I recently installed it because my install pretty much died some time ago. So, my mouse was working just a minute ago, but now something happened and it disappeared. So as you can see, it works just fine. For some reason, the riser card stopped working. I'm gonna check the wires, but I did check the front USB and that clearly works. So as for the audio, we don't have it plugged in, so that's gonna be for some other time. Anyway, what else are we gonna test? Well, first of all, just hearing the computer, it's very quiet. Or we may even make it even quieter if we reduce the regular fan speed in the BIOS, or again the UEFI, whatever. I don't care. But for now, we're going to just power this off. And alright, this is the BIOS. Nothing too spectacular. Again, both RAMs detected. The temperature is 26 degrees, which I think is fine. It detects my boot drive, that's great. Save that information. It definitely detects my hard drive, my SSDs here. Also, I did not mention, I somehow forgot about it, but of course this case doesn't have an optical drive base. So, yep, I'm without an optical drive. However, that's honestly not that much of a problem, just because I barely use it, so I'm just gonna use an external one when I need it. So, alright, so before I turn off the recording, since the battery is pretty low and I'm pretty tired, so I'm probably going to end this episode tomorrow. But before we do that, I just want to show you and update the BIOS real quick. Again, not the BIOS, the UEFI, whatever, I don't care. So let's just show you. Basically what I have is a USB which is connected. Wait, why did you boot? Hey, what are you doing? I didn't mean you to do that. Restart. Alright, we're pressing delete. And there we go. Now basically we do boot, or tool rather, easy flash 2. So basically I get my storage, and I believe it's this one. Do you really want to update? Yep, might as well. Alright. Alright, so it's updating now, I guess. It's maybe gonna take a while, so I'll turn off the recording, I guess, for now. Alright, it didn't take too long. It says update successful. Update successfully. Okay then. Now it's going to restart. Or just shut down. No, it's going to restart actually. Nothing on the screen at the moment. Alright. Yeah, it reset all of my settings, so okay, whatever. Anyway, I think like at this point I'm just going to like end for recording for today, and we'll see. I guess I'll see you like tomorrow when I'm a little less tired. So we'll end everything tomorrow. I'm going to show you the computer in the end. Whatever, we'll figure something out. So alright, I guess. Well then, it is now afternoon, as you can see by the light on the left, and once again, another lighting change in the room. This is basically what we have here. What I did just now, was, first of all, I switched the USB riser card to the bottom. By the way, I tested it and it turns out it was just poorly connected, so that's why it didn't detect it properly. Other than that, it works fine now. I moved the memory card temporarily up just to test the PCIe slots. I'm gonna test the upper one for the graphics cards too, as well. And I've disconnected this fan because I figured that there's no purpose when there's already a cooler fan, which is gonna do its job. And finally, I also switched the RAM to the other two slots because I've noticed there was another manual in the motherboard that suggests they do that. So guess we're gonna stick with that for now. And finally, for real, I also moved the SATA cables up 2 slots. I'm gonna test the other 2 slots later, so that's just for testing again. So let's power on this computer again and open the BIOS, or again the UEFI, or whatever the cool kids are calling it these days. I don't even know. Right, turning the power supply on. There we go. Let's press delete. Oh, you're right, it's not connected. I didn't connect the keyboard, right? Stupid me. Okay then. Okay, let's try that again. Wait. There we go. Okay, thankfully it detects the 8 gigs. Let's just see if it detects everything it should. When the Windows booted, I clearly noticed that it tried to connect to the Wi-Fi, so that means the card is working. That's great. And what else do we need? SATA, right. Well, these 2 are empty and these 2 are connected. So that's nice. Now we're gonna do a little bit more testing. Obviously, we're going to switch the SATA cables and try the network card. All right. And the temperature seems to be fine. The fan speed seems to be alright too. Alright, let's fire this on. Really nice button. Really heavy door. So alright, whatever. Oh yeah, obviously we have to disconnect it first. We're going to unscrew this one for now. By the way, the reason why I moved this card down was simply just so that if I'm ever getting a graphic card, or rather when I'm getting a graphic card, I don't want it to be blocking the fan or anything like that. So just put it at the bottom. That's the safest place. So we're gonna remove this, and there we go. Oh, hold on. We have to adjust the antenna. Obviously, I can't test whether all the other pins are going to work, but I imagine if the entire connector works, there's no reason for all the other pins to not work. Okay, I'm going to screw in this one, not the bracket. These thumb screws might as well be regular screws. It's not holding in place anyway. Alright, that's done. We're not putting in the bracket now, just temporarily. And there's the SATA cables. We're plugging into the other SATA ports just for testing again. And these are the 3 gigabits per second ports, which means that the SSD will be quite a bit slower. But then again, we're not even booting into the system that way, so it's no big deal. And, oh, okay, there we go. Let's power this on. We're not even going to close the cover. No need. And it's still booting into Windows, even though I didn't want it to. Oh dear. But just to be sure, it does detect the internet. Right, it definitely does. That's fine. Again, restart. Okay, whatever. Advance. SATA. Yep, everything's fine. Nothing bad at all. As for the monitor, the temperature seems to be fine. Before we end the episode, I'm probably going to just make a little test of everything, just to see how it all goes, and see how much the fan spins. And obviously, if we don't have a GPU, so I'm not going to try and play any games on it for now. Alright, so what you see here is basically I've removed the front case, and what I'm going to do is, since the back fan is essentially useless, I'm pretty much going to just put it on the front here. And I've noticed that the front has much more sound dampening material than the back, so that might actually help, because I noticed it was a little loud, actually, I'll be honest. But I think that's because of these fans. So, and I've noticed that once I unplugged the back one, it immediately became quieter. So, yeah, we're going to screw it in. The screws for these fans are not really good. And wait, to switch, there you go. And we're not screwing it right. I was stupid because the camera is in the way, damn it. Alright, I screwed in the fan and I've plugged it in inside. Alright, so both of these are in the same direction, so both of these should pull the air from the front and it should exit back thanks to the heatsink fan. So now all we do is we put this thing on first, which we do like this. It's pretty easy. And now we can actually put the case on. It's a little dirty, so I'm gonna clean it. And there we go, it's snapped back in very easily. Easier than, again, the other case, because this case is much more well designed. So we're gonna put in the filter, which is on the bottom, which you can't see. And there we go. Alright, let's test this now, shall we? Alright, so the sun is really distracting, so I'm going to just use the room lights instead. Whatever. Anyway, as you can see, the fans are in place, and there is no fan here anymore. However, of course, this is gonna do its job, hopefully. At least I hope. So, for now, I didn't close it, just so that we could, so I could feel the air and just see how it is, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's just power this on. Turning the PSU on, and let's power this on. I'm entering the BIOS, but I'm not going to show you it just because it's not that interesting. Alright. So the fan, we can clearly feel both fans. Alright now. And it's not very strong from here, so I hope that's fine. I think what we should do is we're going to just close it and flip it around so that we can actually hear how everything is when everything's closed and nice and stuff. And I'm going to try to actually push the CPU to do something like that's CPU intensive, so like rendering a video, I don't know. So we'll try that just to see how much the fan spins, if it even the temperature, how is it, what's the CPU temperature going to be. So anyway, let's do that. Alright, so we're in Sony Vegas, which is the video editor that I'm using, and yes, this is in fact a legal version, in case you're wondering. So what we're doing, we have the Intel Power Gadget here. We're just gonna start the log, and you can see the temperature here. So you can see right now it's 35, so it's pretty fine. So yeah, you can see also the speed utilization, whatever. All we're gonna do here is simple. We're just going to render the video. So hold on. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna do it. Nothing special. At 60 FPS, 720p, which I believe is this video, technically, whatever. Alright, then let's see if how well it does with the processor. We're not going to render it fully, we're just going to see how much the processor is. Usage, right, it's above 100%, so now it's using multiple cores. And the fan hasn't spinned yet, so that's nice. We're also going to open the task manager here. And there we go, it's using all 4 cores, so yep, and it's very quiet still. The fan appears to be at the lowest so far. It hasn't spinned up at all, and the temperature is very low too, at 50 degrees, which is not, it's not like low, but it used to be at around 80 back when I used the normal, and it was like 60 just at idling. So yeah, obviously we don't have a GPU, so it's very, very slow. But as we can clearly see, temperature is not a problem. Everything seems to be perfectly fine. So let's end this. I think it's time we ended this episode. As you can clearly see, everything is going perfectly fine. This case is really good, it was easy to work in, and is miles better than the previous one. So I'm generally really satisfied with this upgrade. It's a little dirty here, I noticed just now. We're gonna clean that later. Anyway, I've tested the motherboard, seems to work perfectly fine, and the cooler seems to be doing a great job despite the fact that it's not very stable inside. So I'm a little concerned, but we'll see. If whatever happens, I'm just going to double check and rearrange it or whatever. So yeah, seems like a good upgrade. It was a lot of money, and I still have the GPU to get, the RAM to get, and there's something else I wanted to do to it, which I'll keep secret for now because I'm not sure I'll do it just yet. However, as for the older motherboard, well, I put everything back in their respective boxes, so unfortunately I think the older motherboard has its pins, its CPU socket pins bent a bit. I bent them back where they're supposed to be, so yep, I guess it's the fate of this motherboard if it doesn't work anymore. Not that I'll ever know because I don't have any other processor I can test it with. So yep, I think that's it. So thanks for watching, everyone, and if you want, well, you can subscribe if you want, if you like this. Of course, I don't know how often I'll be uploading. It's kind of difficult with the camera situation since I don't actually own this camera. So who knows, I'll upload when I can upload. But again, thanks for watching. So I'll see you next time, whenever that'll be.